Bienvenue pour le lancement de notre événement Open Map of the Global Pause. On va faire une émission qui va être en anglais et en français. Donc, pour nos amis anglais, Eric qui est avec moi va traduire. Bienvenue. Alors, on est très content, toute l'équipe de Invent à UCA est très contente de lancer cet événement. Cet appel à contribution, et on est encore plus content de constater qu'il y a déjà énormément de contributions sur la carte Global Pause. Et cette carte, on va faire une émission qui va être en anglais. Et cette carte, donc, elle est déjà alimentée par des contributions en Tunisie, à New York, en Azerbaïdjan, au Japon, en Italie, en Espagne, au Mali, au Chili, et bien entendu en France. Alors, l'objectif de cette carte, c'est parce qu'on s'est lancé dans un projet où on a constaté en fait qu'il se passait énormément de choses à travers le monde, et on a voulu créer un témoignage réalisé par les gens à travers le monde des effets bénéfiques de la pause de la planète. Eric?
So hello everybody, we will translate for our English-speaking community. So we are very honored to launch with you on live this global challenge about the open map of the global pause. And our aim is to have a huge contribution for many people around the world to drop a pin on this virtual map, just to provide some evidence of what is happening during this confinement period. And we really encourage the community around the world to witness it. Okay, you drop a pin and you leave a message, and this will be a message for the future generation also, because this map will rest for a long time. So please contribute. We are really happy because many contributions already occurred. So there are people that have contributed from Africa, from South America, and Europe, and United States. So it's really a great challenge, and people are starting to participate. So please, Samir.
En Italie, et elle va vous expliquer pourquoi elle pense que c'est important pour nous, pour vous, de contribuer sur cette carte.
So we have two guests with us. One that will speak after us is Francesca Veronica Ghio, that she's from Fridays for Future, Italy, and she will also contribute, okay, to diffuse among this community, and we thank her for being here. And then we have also our important partner, this ONG called the Carte ONG, which is supporting us technically also through the platform. And so Martin is with us and will explain how to use the map. So maybe we can.
Hello, everyone.
Contribute to this map, and why are you involved in this project?
Hello, everyone. I'm Francesca, and I speak on behalf of the movement Fridays for Future. We decided to support this incredible project because we saw that during the global pause, during the pandemic of coronavirus, we saw more change, positive change in the nature than any international meeting about climate. And for us, it's so important to collect all of this experience in a global international memories that we can save for the present and to improve our future. And we need to do it because the system of the conception of the consumption and waste exploitation of the natural resources is not sustainable at all. So we need to improve something. And this idea, this project, need the support of the strong and amazing network of Fridays for Future all around the world, because we are able to share the project and to improve with a positive contribution. So we are really proud to be part of the project. Thank you to involve us as movement.
Martin, à toi.
Hi, everyone. So, my name is Martin. I'm part of an NGO called Contribuez, based in France. And so we are providing support to the actors of humanitarian response, international development project, and social and environmental projects, using the tools of mapping, geographic information systems, and information management and data in general. So the Université Côte d'Azur has asked us to support them in starting this map of the global pose, which we are in charge of implementing for the technical side. So I will just do a quick walkthrough of the features of the platform, the way it works, so you can see how to contribute and how to also consult the data which is in it. So when you arrive on the web page of the dedicated to the project, you have a presentation of the purpose of the project and a short tutorial, which I will basically redo now, but so you can check it afterwards if you want. You also have the policy of the privacy notice and information on the license, so I strongly encourage you to read them before contributing. And you have a link to access the map, which is what I will do now. So when you first load the map, it appears like this. So you have the different contribution appears like pins, like those ones. So if I click on one, I have the details with the name of the contribution and a photo. And when I click on it, I have the details of the contribution, as you see. And I can go back to the map by clicking on the button on the top here. So the interface of the platform is can be translated actually. So when you first load it, it is in French, but if you scroll down here, as you can see, we can switch the language. So you have different languages. So I will put it in English now so you can see. And as you can see, the map, etc., has been translated. The form, however, that you can fill is only translated in French and English. That doesn't mean that you cannot contribute in other languages, but it's just that the questions will be in English and French. But you're, of course, free to contribute in your local language from where you are. So if you want to check contributions, as I showed you, you can click on a pin. When you have several of them grouped like this, you click on the number like I just did to show them. And you'll notice that, like, for instance, here for France, you have some contributions that are nationwide, and they will appear in the middle of the country. So I'll show you just after how to enter an address, but you can also, if you don't know the exact location of a contribution, place it at the country level this way. To contribute, it's actually pretty simple. You just need to click on the yellow plus button on top, which will open you this window. And then you have to choose the category of your contribution. So it's not possible to put several categories. You will have to choose one. So choose the most relevant for you. Then you just click on the name of the category, which will open you this, what is called survey. And then you have several information to fill. So a few of them are mandatory. The first one is the title. So here I'm going to write test, for instance. Then you can put a link, a URL to external resources. So this is the case if, for instance, you want to post a press article that you saw online, or a social network post, or things like this. You can also add a picture. Similarly to the link, you can also put a link to a YouTube video here. And finally, another mandatory field is the description. So the idea is that when you create a post, you only can upload photos of which you are the author, or photos that someone gave you. If you want to upload a photo that you have found online, you need to really reference in the link area where you took it from. For instance, if you see something from Instagram, you can do a screenshot, add it here, but you need to link to the original author because you're not the original author. So it's possible to fill several of these fields, or only one, depending of the type of element you're posted, between link, pictures, and videos. Finally, the most important part maybe is the location here. So you can either type a specific address, or a city, or a country. Like, for instance, if I just put France here, it will zoom to France, and as I said, put it in the middle of France. If I type Paris, it will put me similarly in the middle of Paris, and I could even type a more specific address. Once you have started to enter an address like this, but you can also just click on the map, then you can also very easily move the point manually by clicking somewhere else on the map, like I'm doing. So for instance, let's say you don't know the exact address, but you know it's here. Up, just click, and the localization will move. And finally, you have the latitude and longitude if you want to edit that manually. Then the other fields are technical. It's just for us to manage the platform. So you can fill your, you have to fill your email address. We need it actually because we might have to ask you questions about your contribution. So for instance, verifying that you are the author of the picture, or if we find it really interesting, ask you if you can give us more information, this kind of thing. By default, your email address will not be used for anything else, and it will, of course, remain confidential at all points. So that's why you have this little locker icon here. So you will have to submit the email address. We'll just keep for internal purposes of checking the data, and we will erase it eventually at the end of the year at the latest. And then you have a secondary field, which is to register on the communication we'll send about the project. So this one is optional on the other hand. So if you want us to recontact you on the email address you just left for more information on the project or on your contribution, you can tick yes. And finally, the last one is agreeing to the license and privacy notice of the project. So this is the way the platform works. Once you have filled it, you can click on submit on the top and it will bring you back to the map. This is a default way to contribute, the simplest, by producing it a contribution that will appear anonymously. So for instance, like this one, there is no author identified. The second method you can use if you want to have your name appearing, or if you want to be able to review, edit your submissions later on, or generally speaking, if you want to do several contributions and really get involved in the platform, is to create an account. So to do so, it's actually pretty simple. You have a button here to sign up. When you click on it, it will ask you a name. So it can be your actual name or a pseudonym, your email address, a password, and then you will be able to contribute directly. So obviously, I already have an account, so I will just log in, but it will be the same that you will have if you have your account created. And once you have an account created, the difference is that the contribution you have will have a name. So if I check, for instance, here on the contribution we already have, as you can see, several of them are anonymous, but we also have a few of them that are made by an author like Nelly here that is identified. And you also have the option to review your own contributions. To conclude, if you want to check the data, so of course, the recommended access is via the map this way, but you can also type a research on like content, etc. You can also filter by different categories. And you can also access, I will just log out all the data here using the données or data menu. And as you can see here, you have an overview of all the contribution. And again, you can also filter them by the category, etc. So that's it for my technical presentation. I think you are normally able to ask questions on the YouTube Live and on the Facebook. And if you are watching this presentation later, you will, of course, be free to ask questions and we'll answer them in due time. The contributions are being reviewed by moderators, which means they don't appear immediately when you create them. But we have a small team of people checking the contribution on the live. So normally they shouldn't take too much time to appear. And that's it for me.
Merci.
Thanks, Martin.
Merci, Martin.
So now I think that everybody knows how to properly drop a pin on the map. So you know now it's your turn to contribute and spread it. Okay, help us to diffuse this platform and ask for contribution. We want this to be really a success.
Merci pour cette explication, Martin, de carte ONG. Donc, comme l'explication était en anglais, on ne va pas tout traduire maintenant. Vous pourrez retrouver le petit film qui dure pas très longtemps, il va durer une quinzaine de minutes. On va mettre les sous-titres dès demain ou après-demain, quand on aura un petit peu le temps pour le faire. La contribution, pour ceux qui l'ont compris, c'est très simple. Il suffit d'aller sur la plateforme carte Open Map of the Global Pause, pardon, et de soit s'enregistrer, s'identifier, soit, si vous n'avez pas envie de vous identifier, simplement poster. Et comme il y a une modération pour vérifier les données qui sont épinglées sur la carte, ça peut prendre quelques minutes pour que votre contribution apparaisse. Donc, on espère, avec ce projet, ce beau projet que porte l'Université Côte d'Azur, rassembler des centaines de contributions à travers la planète. Donc, n'hésitez pas à diffuser et à parler autour de vous de ce projet. Merci beaucoup.
So thanks to everybody, also to our guest speakers, Francesca and Martin. And we really want this to be a great success, so help us to diffuse it. Thanks, everybody.
Au revoir.
Bye.